Why Do So Many Incompetent Men Become Leaders and How to Fix It by author Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic. If we want to improve the competence level of people in leadership positions, we need to improve our own competence for judging and selecting them, especially when they are men, says organizational psychologist Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic. Let's get right into it. Hello, everyone. My name is Treva Gordon, and I am a graduate student enrolled at Austin Peay State University. I am enrolled in the course Leadership 5250 at Austin Peay State University with Dr. Catherine Woods. I was assigned the virtual book club project, and I selected the book, Why Do So Many Incompetent Men Become Leaders and How to Fix It by author Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic. Of course, the cover is a grabber, and it did grab my attention, and I would have to say that throughout the book, it still grabs my attention. It kept my interest. In reviewing the book's 9 chapters, I found the book very interesting and enlightening. The author talked about how many men are incompetent to lead, talked about the idea of confidence versus competence. A lot of men will demonstrate confidence. The author also stating that good leadership requires intellectual capital. The key components of intellectual capital, domain-specific expertise, experience, and good judgment, not only enable leaders to perform their specific roles, but also give them credibility with their followers. It's time to gain credibility with the followers and start becoming a successful leader. And lack competence. And that is the problem why we have so many leaders who fail. And lack competence. And that is the problem why we have so many leaders who fail. We have leaders failing because they have narcissistic behavior. They lack empathy and compassion. They lack respect. The art of listening. Listening is very key and is very, very important. So why do bad guys win? One of the chapters in chapter 3. A lot of times people think that that they are the best leader for the job. And sometimes, as the author has stated, we let our intuition lead us. And you can't always trust your intuition. I really like that part because oftentimes people will say, I thought that she was qualified for the job. It leads you to believe that because they are overcompetent, that they are qualified for the job. Or we'll say things like, I have a great feeling, I just know that they are going to do well. The author also talks about talent. What does talent have to do with anything? Some leaders may be brilliant or popular in their cultures. Go to another culture, they may not be very popular. The author also pointed out about Vladimir Putin or Hugo Chavez. Think about the high-performing managers. They may be popular in one area, but may not be popular in another area. It is important to pay attention to the key signs. It is important to recognize what makes a leader successful. Oprah Winfrey, she was fired from her TV anchor job because she was too emotionally invested. A leader should always remain humble. A leader should remain humble. A leader should become compassionate. A leader should be caring. Good leadership requires intellectual capital, as I explained before. Intellectual capital affects team performance by boosting team morale and employee engagement. This is very important. It is very important to bring people together as a leader, and these are things that industries must utilize in training their employees. In leadership, you have to do more. You have to be able to do some research, do background checks, get the understanding, be able to spot narcissism, because narcissism is bad leadership. Just because a person, again, is overconfident at the position. It's great to be able to ask questions when hiring. Oftentimes, we go by instinct and intuition, and this will not help us choose the most effective leader. Also, we get caught up into charisma. because how they were able to persuade or woo us into thinking that they are the best leader for the position. But this can also be dangerous, as the author says. Despite significance of charisma with regards to leadership effectiveness, you can ask anyone about the fundamental qualities of a leader, and he or she will inevitably list charisma among the top traits. But this is not always effective when looking at good leadership. So what is good leadership? Good leadership is being effective. It is being able to focus on the traits, to show humility, consistency. Because you think about some of the greatest leaders in the world, as the book had pointed out. And leaders, they're humble. They're very humble. They're not bragging about what they do or how they did it, but they are there to serve. And so those are signs of great leadership. But those who are very charming and charismatic, it may not always prove an effective leader. So don't be fooled by their charisma. As you begin to examine yourself and what is effective leadership, self-awareness is essential according to the author. Self-awareness, as a matter of fact, he says, why then do leaders hesitate to receive feedback? A lot of times leaders do not want the feedback because they feel so confident in what they're doing. Just like everyone may say, I'm an excellent driver, but how many drivers are that good? Or like the author suggests, just say you have a person and says, I'm really funny. But how many people think they are really funny? Probably 90%, when only 10% are really, really funny. I'm a firm believer that gender equality should be a reality in leadership roles. I'm the first to believe that women carry a hands-on approach to decision making. Do I think women are qualified to lead? Absolutely, positively, yes. Women are more empathetic. Women are compassionate. Women are kind. Women will take time out to be empathetic. And empathy is very important in the workplace. Instead of bragging and boasting on, how great I am, teamwork makes the dream work, and letting people know that, hey, I want to be a part of a winning team. Bringing solutions to the workplace. No one person can do it alone. Oftentimes, narcissists, they are all about themselves. Narcissists are all about themselves. They are all about themselves. And you have to realize that there is a team of people around you, and help everyone to get there. Help everyone to succeed. Creating more opportunities for women in leadership is viable and is necessary. Industries must get involved. We must include more women in the decision making and at the table discussing leadership opportunities. Eliminate these biases in the workplace. Eliminate the bias that men are more competent than women, when in fact women are not well received in the workplace. And so we must take a look from within. And I would like to think, we should start out with our children. Start out when they're small and teach them the values. Teach them that hard work pays off. Teach them that whether you're male or female, you can rise to the top and you can accomplish anything. A leader should be caring and compassionate. A leader should have the ability to draw people, not to boast or brag about their money, their power, or their fame. We must get off of our soapbox. We need more diversity in the workplace to include women in the workplace. We must include women in order to succeed. Alludes to the fact that women are capable of leading. Women are capable, and I agree that we are capable of leading. And so when we put more women in these roles, we advance women, we promote confidence in the workplace, and that's what it's all about, creating an atmosphere of confidence so that women succeed in the top leadership positions. The book also talks about the emotional intellect of women, higher IQs than men. They're more connected to others. And this makes a difference when choosing good leadership. I realize that our country is flawed, but as we have these discussions, we can work towards the effects of change. And change is very important in the workplace. Change is very important if we are going to move forward. So in order to move forward, we must evaluate ourselves. We must take a look at the man in the mirror. We must evaluate our performance, and we must have self-awareness. These things are very important. Of course, looking at the data, understanding the research, all of these things come into play. It is better to be competent versus incompetent. In closing, let us hire more women. Let us put more women in position. We look closely at ourselves. Thank you. Let us look at the reasons why our leaders, they fail, particularly men, because it is the incompetence versus competence. So do not think that because a person brags or, they're very excited, charismatic, thinking that, I know that they're qualified for the job. Use the data, use statistics, do research. Check out their social media, check out their background, their LinkedIn, and all of the things to, define and ask the questions. Ask the tough questions, even the questions that may be surprising, as this is very important. There are many leaders in the world, but again, not all leaders are good leaders, and it is important to identify what makes a great leader. We assume that confident people have more potential for leadership, but that is not the case. And then also, the second reason is the love for charismatic individuals, because they have an opportunity to excite you. They have an opportunity more so like transformational leadership. And so these are some of the pitfalls that we can get into or go into making a leader successful. In fact, leaders are humble rather than charismatic. And I love that part that the author states that leaders are more humble than they are charismatic. And a leader will give understanding. A leader will have empathy. A leader will have patience. A leader will demonstrate the excellence and ability to lead and will not show forth bias towards women in the workplace. It is very important to separate. As we think about it in closing, some people really think they are better than what they really are. And at the end of the day, we all need to evaluate ourselves and take a closer look in the mirror. According to the author, when competent individuals lack confidence, they will prepare more, act with caution, and become more aware of potential risks and obstacles, all of which enhance their performance. When confident people lack competence, their best is to hide it from others. Remember, what are you hiding as leaders? What are you not showing? What do you portray to those that you surround yourselves with? Confidence is something that it does come from within, but competence is something that is valuable and will help companies to succeed with the right leadership. We're in need of more leadership, more top-notch companies, and we need to diversify by including women. Gender bias and stereotypes have been with us for so many years, and it's time to eliminate them. It is 2022, and it is time to move forward with change. It is time to see that women are valuable, women are confident, and women are most certainly competent to lead. I have enjoyed reading this book because it sheds light and gives insight to help the reader to understand that women are not weak, women are smart, women are intelligent, and yes, they are again capable to lead. I think that this book should be given out as a homework assignment to the elementary school kids, the elementary school children. I think it is something that little boys and girls can draw and learn from. And we can teach this to our children. We can pass this book along. I'm looking forward to sharing this book with others and the great insight that it brings. And so, are men competent to lead? Yes, this book did not bash men. I felt that it is a book of truth as we look in the mirror to examine our own truths and to understand that, there's value in both genders and that we all bring something to the table. Remembering that no one is an island, no one is alone. The author did extensive research, and for that I can appreciate. Let's look at the data. Let's ask the tougher questions, and let's include women. Let's bring to the table women to have these conversations, because women don't ask. Women lack confidence, but supporting women and including them, we can help the confidence factor increase. And so this book is a great book of knowledge and wealth that the author is using as a tool to close the bridge, to close the gap, the gender gap, as well as it affects wage gap. And we haven't even talked about that. So men are competent, but also women are competent as well. This has been a wonderful book assignment. I am signing off. grad student Treva Gordon. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you. This concludes today's book review, Why Do So Many Incompetent Men Become Leaders and How to Fix It? Author Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic is an organizational psychologist who works mostly in the areas of personality profiling, people analytics, talent identification, the interface between human and artificial intelligence, and leadership development.